jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports.
A big shout out to the hottest chat in the MF game. A-Side official. No negotiation needed, period. You already know. The first in the building. OG Mr. Golden on deck. Salute to you. What's good with it, man? I see you in the building. Everyone make sure you hit the like button when you come in, no doubt, man. You already know. Thanks for your support. Those of you that's inbound, en route, showing up to the show. Yeah, hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? Stay tuned in. Be consistent. Hot Grease Chronicles EP 375. It ain't went nowhere. It haven't went nowhere. I just took a break. And let some days go by. And return to let y'all know we getting closer and closer to the year of Crawford. You know what I'm saying? This is the year of Crawford right here. Real talk. I wanted to put it in the title. I said, no, I don't want to frustrate them like that. It's big things that's coming up, man. It's big things. It's real big things. Let me share an article with y'all right quick. I don't know how some of you all gonna feel, right? But you can't be mad at him. You know, let me share an article with y'all. Take this down. So this is an article from Boxing News 24. All right. Hold on for a second. It says Bud Crawford gets the champion and recess golden ticket. WBC has made Terrence Crawford welterweight champion in recess, given that he's moving up to 154 to challenge WBA junior middleweight champion Israel Mondramov on August 3rd for his belt and WBO interim title. Also, the Crawford vs. Mondramov fight will be a WBC 154-pound final eliminator, y'all. Listen, people, you don't understand how significant this is in boxing. I don't think you do, man. I don't think you know how special these upcoming months is going to be. This next fight is going to be a 154-pound final eliminator for the WBC world title, which Sebastian Fundora is currently holding. It goes on to say, with the winner being the mandatory, y'all, they making fights, man. With the winner being the mandatory for October fight between WBC, WBO, junior middleweight champion Sebastian Fundora and Errol Spence Jr. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. Now, I'm not riding off Mondramov at all, but I'm sure enough. I'm not riding him off, but I'm sure enough heading to the next station. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where he at. I'm headed to the next station. You know what I'm saying? I'm headed to the IBF station because that's probably definitely who Crawford's gonna fight at the end of the year. And then in October, when we get the winner of Fundora, Spence, we go into year 25. And peep this out now. Crawford would have been the biggest topic of discussion from 22 to 23, 23 to 20. And the biggest topic of discussion when it comes to fighters' names in the sport of boxing. Because from 22, they was waiting on Spence to go in there and fight Yordenis Ugas. And look, Crawford had already defeated Sean Porter. He had already defended his title, and he had his last fight at top rank. So he went into 23 waiting. He wasn't in the shadows. He was in broad daylight, waiting for Spence to go in there and pick up that WBA title, which we all know they would later go on to negotiations, which fell out. The good thing about that negotiations not being locked in, sealed and delivered, was because both fighters would have been fighting for little of nothing, pennies, minimal coins. You know what I'm saying? Because a certain individual wanted them to fight for net pay and all that other mumbo jumbo. No. Through good business practices, paying attention, while others was criticizing him, talking about how he was moving and everything, Crawford chose to relieve himself from negotiations, divert his attention over to BOK Prime when he had a fight with David Avanesian in his hometown. And guess what? It did good. You know what I'm saying? Even though he relieved himself of negotiations with Errol Spence in 23, still the biggest name, the biggest topic on YouTube was still Crawford, as he went over there and fought David Avanesian, who at the time was ranked number 6. He goes in there and disperses of David Avanesian, right? And then it carries over from hold on. Who is this texting me? I'm up here multitasking, not paying attention. But let me go back. I'm busy up here reading stuff on my phone and getting the years wrong. He went into 2022. All right. Fight Sean Porter 21 to 22, and he went into 2022 to pretty much get the fight with Errol Spence Jr. At that time, he fought David Avanesian at the end of the year and went into 2023. With that being said, in 2023, we was finally able to get the fight that we wanted to see for several years, and it played out the way we thought it would. We being the Terrence Crawford fans. You know what I'm saying? So earlier, you know, if I misspoke, I'm busy up here reading something. You know what I'm saying? And got the years wrong. I thought I said 21 with Sean Porter, but he went into 21, went from 21 to fighting Sean Porter, and winning his last fight on top rank to 22. That's when Spence fought Yordenis Ugas in April. And then, you know, they try to attempt to have negotiations near the end of the final semester 22 for Crawford Spence. It didn't happen until 2023. And that's when you seen the fight play out and Terrence Crawford became 2-time undisputed. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot that I love about the way it went down. You know what I'm saying? They got more money, both fighters. I'm glad both fighters made more money. But I liked how there was a coin toss. I like how Crawford was able to walk out second. I like how, you know, the momentum and the leverage. You know, when you talk about who they say didn't deserve this and who didn't rate that, he pretty much had all the concessions in his favor. Yeah, all that, shawty. All that. Don't be mad. Don't be mad. He had all that in his favor. A coin flipped? Are you serious? A coin flip? A coin, the million that they betted when Spence said, let's bet 100,000, And Crawford said, let's bet $1 million. He got that in the concessions before the fight even happened. That's a bad man. Rumble, young man, rumble. Rumble, young man, rumble. There's only one gorilla that's stumping in the jungle. Crawford will get a giant payday in a rematch with Spence if he's coming off a victory over Fundora. That's a big if. A potential Crawford-Spence rematch, okay? I mentioned this earlier. You feel me? I mentioned this earlier, right? About a potential rematch and that stranger things has happened. You know, Crawford and Spence is moving up to 147. The residue that was left back there, it can partially repair itself if Spence is able to go in here and beat the taller, rangier, coming off a very thrilling victory in a championship 12-rounder against Tim Tszyu. He can partially repair itself with the confidence of his fans in Texas if he beats Fundora, y'all. This fight will pretty much generate that energy that we need to build up interest from the consumers to come back and see a number 2. You know why I say that? Because no one really had confidence in Spence in 2023. I mean, it's just the visual that was all bad. You know, you had blood splatter on the lens, y'all. It was just all bad how easy Bud Crawford made that fight look. It was too easy. And then to basically close out the year, hoping that, okay, somehow, some way, we hope we get a rematch. We hope Showtime hang around to make this rematch. But no, they have since left the building. Their wings were spreaded and they was given permission for takeoff and they're gone. With that said, it seemed like the consumers, more so over there on Team Spence, they started to doubt themselves. They started to bite their nails and, you know what I'm saying, nibble on their fingertips. They became full of anxiety. They was distraught. A lot of these individuals lost their way in life. Seriously, they lost their way. I'm not exaggerating. They lost their way. They shut down their channels. They changed the title of their YouTube handle. All that. It was just a lot. It goes on to say, if Spence doesn't retire after the Fundora fight, which he's already hinted about doing, we could see him and Crawford meeting in a giant pay-per-view match with 3 belts at stake. Now, let's be totally honest with ourselves first. Spence win that belt. He's definitely fighting Crawford. Because Crawford, his quest is for ATG status. His quest his quest is the level change. That's his quest. That's what he's about. It says if Crawford wins those 2 belts, he would need only the IBF belt held by Bakram to become the undisputed junior middleweight champion. I really, and I'm not hoping, I'm really confident with the Sheik behind him and the confidence that he has with Crawford going out here. I'm glad that Turk Al-Sheikh has provided his support. You know, allow Crawford to know that, hey, you got a heavy gun behind you. I'm going to make sure that we get these champions over here in the ring with you. See, he got the machine behind him. This pretty much erases a lot of the criticism that those aerosexual fans was giving Crawford. Crawford has changed levels, man. He has changed stratospheres. He has Turk Al-Sheikh behind him, supporting him every step of the way. And this man is supposed to be at the end of his career. You're talking about potentially a fighter retiring undefeated. I'm not saying he the only one. Y'all hold on for a second. All right, we back. It goes on to say, the article from Boxing News 24, of course, it's not a given that Crawford beats WBA junior middleweight champion Israel Madrimov because he's not fought at 154. He's getting old, and he's only fights once a year. Crawford struggled as it was to beat Sean Porter and David Avanesian. Madrimov is on another level from those guys, and he could expose Crawford as being an old hype job, not what fans has thought. So, as I always do, I go to the top, right, and show you who's the hater. And ta-da, it's Chris Williams. Wouldn't you know? I just thought I want, let you see that with your own eyes, that it was the ultimate Crawford hater at Boxing News 24. The article goes on to say the WBC decision, champion in recess instead of stripping. Kudos to, once again, Crawford being provided, being provided these provisions to assist him and hold on to these titles. Now, will he potentially come off the other belts? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You probably ask yourself, why is he holding on to the WBC? Well, there's plenty of other WBC champions that wasn't, shout out to Mauricio Suleiman, that wasn't totally active, that was still holding on to the belts. Let me go to the chat right quick. Shout out to Carlos on deck. I see you in the building. Jones on deck. What's good? What's good? Mike in the building. Salute. Well, it's like, let's bet $1 million. Yeah, for sure. But let them know, man. Let's continue with this article. They say the logical question is, why isn't the World Boxing Council, remember this is Chris Williams, the Crawford hater, why isn't the World Boxing Council stripping Crawford of this WBC welterweight belt rather than giving him the champion in recess designation? In the old days, the sanctioned bodies would strip champions when they move up in weight to fight for belts, especially when they had no intentions of returning to the division. See, we don't know if Crawford's totally done with competing at 147 pounds. We don't know that. But if you have a question about why he's being allowed to be the champion in recess, then it would have been better for you to say, well, when I reached out to the WBC president, Mauricio Suleiman, this is what he said. We would rather hear that, Chris, rather than you asking questions that's out of the scope of Crawford's authority. He can't go do anything about it. He can't do anything about it. You just put it in your articles just to draw in attention, just to put that negative energy out there for people to gravitate to. It goes on to say, in Crawford's case, the WBC keeps his foot in the door by giving him the champion in recess tag of 147, meaning he can return at any time to fight who the champion is. Hey, why not? Why not? They keep on talking about bouts, bouts, bouts. You know what I'm saying? They got some hitters down there now, right? You got Jerron Boots Sanders and you got Brian Norman Jr. You have Stantionis down there. I mean, when the belts come free, we want to see. We want to see if Terrence gonna potentially, once he become 3-time undisputed, if he want to return back to 147 and scoop up that belt or get his belt back for another huge payday at that time. Well, we all know who's on a quest for the ATG stamp, Terrence Bud Crawford. The article goes on to say in closing, the likely only way Crawford will return to welterweight to fight for the WBC belt is, pay attention to this now, because crack is a hell of a drug. The likely only way that Crawford will return to welterweight to fight for the WBC belt if Devin Haney moves up and gets his hands on the title. Haney is an easy mark, a soft target, but popular enough for Crawford to make good money fighting him on pay-per-view. So what Chris is pretty much omitting is that it's nobody that could potentially fight for a unification bout at 147 already. So Devin Haney, of all people, has to move up from 147, which I don't believe he's going to make that shift so quickly. I don't believe he's going to PCS. He hasn't been given those orders. Why would he move up to 147? If he's for sure he can make a name, okay, I can see him going for 3 division championship. Yes, sir. Why not? But believe it or not, Devin is undisputed at 135. And he's this WBC champion at 140. Does he have a purpose? You know what I'm saying? Does he truly have a purpose to move up so quickly? I think Chris is just talking out his neck because he's bored of eating Twinkies in the dark. Barrios isn't popular enough to entice Crawford to come back to 147. And the Nebraska native certainly isn't going to come back down to fight Jaron Boots Ennis if he's the only one that snatches the WBC welterweight belt. Boots is the younger, stronger, and better version of Crawford, and he will wreck the soon-to-be 37-year-old once-a-year fighter. Of course, as much as I'd love to hear Chris and he kind of, entices me to want to start doing some articles, to really get back on the keyboard and play around, because I can really put some articles together and really raise brows. Seriously, I can raise some brows if I want to. Just check out the articles I already got out there. It's not no ghetto stuff either. These are articles I wrote, edited, and submitted on my own. And the way he writes these articles out here, he's just pretty much putting controversial criteria out there for people to know that, yeah, he's a Crawford hater. But you do have Brian Norman Jr. that's a champion. He's going to be elevated to the WBO champion soon. Then you have Boots as the IBF champion. And then you have, Blair Flair Cobbs whenever he stopped playing around and get back behind the, go back to the station and try to find out, is he going to be worthy enough to fight for the WBC or the WBA? We're curious whenever Crawford comes off of him. But yeah, you have 2 fighters now that's sitting on, even though Brian Norman is the WBO interim, he will be elevated to the WBO. And, coming off his last fight, he's got some buzz behind him, and people are going to start talking. They're going to either start, don't expect him, I'm just going to put it out there, don't expect him to fight Boots anytime soon. But the fans who don't know the backstory, they're going to start saying, okay, we want to see Norman Boots. It ain't happening. So they're going to both try to pick up titles and potentially have even a bigger fight if they can unify the division. That's all I'm saying. In that moment, we don't know who potentially may move up to 140, 47 pounds from 140. We don't know. I don't, Barrios will be one of the champions that get elevated, I believe. Barrios will be a champion. And we'll see how it goes from there. Norman Jr. called out Barrios. We'll see if they're able to unify once they are super champions. That'll be a good scrap. And then we'll start to see the 147-pound division kind of narrow itself down. See, when we get one 3-belt champion at 147, that would mean the winner of Norman Jr. and Barrios may potentially fight Boots, Ennis sometime around. But anyway, this is a hot grease moment. Let's just stay on topic. So, like I said about this article, it's Chris Williams. Whenever he has a topic on deck for Crawford, you can guarantee it's going to be distilled with hate, okay? But shout out to the Omaha Monster, getting put in recess. Shout out to Mauricio Suleiman for giving him an opportunity to be in recess. Real talk. Salute to him. I was looking for one more. There was another article in here about another article I seen out there about Crawford, but shout out to D-Town, D-City, D-Ville in the building. Salute to you, brother. I see you on deck. What's good? So, moving forward, right? With Terrence Crawford. This is the year of Crawford. It's turning into that. The reason why I'm saying what I'm saying is because, for one, let's just talk about the champion in recess. That's granted for the 147-pound division. So he will be there regardless if he chooses to fight. He's a champion in recess, okay? Moving forward to the higher division, 154, Crawford has a fight coming up, which people are still saying that, hey, it's going to be a dangerous fight. I'm not totally, washing him, just saying, okay, it's a wash. He's going to run over this dude. No, both him and Spence is making their debuts at 154 pounds this year. But like I said before, when it comes to discipline of a fighter, when it comes to the student, when it comes to a fighter that's willing to continue to learn and improve themselves, a fighter that is extremely mature and understand where his direction is going. And, a lot of people say that's Bud Crawford. Also, when you look at his record unblemished and coming off the win, Chris and whoever else can say that he's only fighting once a year, but you're talking about preserving your body, especially when you're on the back end of your career like this. You're preserving your body, your joints, and everything else. Why? Yet and still, he's in the gym. He's staying sharp. He's in there keeping his weight down, living a fighter's lifestyle, and doing what he's supposed to do. On the other hand, for Spence, yes, he's going to continue to hold that luggage. He's going to continue to wear that backpack of July 29th, 2023. He's going to continue to be that. Until we see him back in there with Sebastian Fundora, we don't know what ill effects that Crawford is responsible for. Crawford is responsible. I'm not snitching on Crawford. I'm just saying I was a witness to the brutality and inflicted violence that I witnessed last year. I'm not snitching on him because, look, the assault that took place was legal. They didn't bring they didn't bring any charges on Crawford. The shit was legal. You know what I'm saying? The shit was legal. But all I'm saying, we don't know how Spence is going to be able to perform after that. We don't know what his mental ability, how his mechanics and functionality is going to be when he head in there with the towering inferno with an 80-inch reach. We don't know, people. But what we do know is that WCS is pretty damn sure that Crawford's going to go in there and become unified champion August 3rd. I'm sure of that. Another thing that I'm sure of is that if they provide him that fight at the end of the year against Bakram, that's going to be great. That means Terrence Crawford has the opportunity in moving up to a higher division of picking up 3 belts, 2 August 3rd, and then potentially the IBF title at the end. Step in there with the winner of Spence Fundora. Now I'm gonna tell you the perfect scenario. The perfect scenario, in my opinion, for the big fight, a redemption fight in 2025, when it comes to 3-time undisputed, will be Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence. It will. This is why I'm telling you this. Allow me to elaborate. The reason why I say that's a bigger fight than Fundora is because him and Spence obviously has history, and there was a lot of fans, a lot of human beings that's basically was calling themselves boxing fans, a lot of casuals, a lot of diehards, a lot of fans who was adamant about the fight turning out the way they thought it would be, right? They felt it was going to go one-way traffic to the guy in Texas. Much bigger, supposedly stronger, a very poignant jab. He was the unified champion. He was meaner. It was so much going on, y'all. It was so much going on. And Crawford just shut all that down. Like someone that was delinquent on their power bill. The lights got shut out. Boom. Shut down all the naysayers. Crawford went out here as a mercenary, slaughtering the whole community of aerosexuals. Defeating. He already has a win at 154. Y'all just don't know it. He's really 3-time undisputed already. Y'all don't know what I'm talking about? He whooped Jermell Charlo ass over there on the sideline. He became 2-time undisputed. And really 3-time undisputed unofficially, because he was beating up Spence and whooping Jermell Charlo ass on the sideline all in one night, y'all. And Jermell Charlo, he had the belts at that time. He had it. How does somebody be in a fight of that magnitude and beating up one fighter in the stable under Derrick James and verbally thrashing another fighter that's undisputed over there lying to James Harden talking about, I already did what he did. I'm going out there to fight Canelo. I don't know, wait, man, stop it. All cap. Really, to be honest with you, Crawford is on the quest to become 4-time undisputed. Hey, he already beat Jermell Charlo up already, bro. He already beat him up. Seriously, he beat him up, man. He beat Spence and Charlo up in one night. That's real talk. But get back to the task at hand, though. The reason why I say the bigger fight will be Spence is because it's somewhat like a redemption fight. So many people want to know if Errol Spence can step back up. So many people are talking right now, and they want to see Errol Spence go in there and beat Sebastian Fundora. They want to see if he can beat him. And then if he looks good and there's no controversy, Spence would have sent out that SOS signal, and it would have been received by his fans that abandoned him to let him know, hey, I'm back. I'm the WBC Super Welterweight World Champion now. I beat Sebastian Fundora fair and square. For those of you that was doubting me, I'm back. I feel better. I feel stronger. I'm back at 150. That's going to get a resurgence. That's going to provide a resurgence for Spence Crawford too. That's a big fight. Now, for Crawford, it doesn't matter who he fights. This man is questing, okay? I'm creating word. Crawford is questing. He's questing to be 3-time undisputed. So if by chance Fundora is the winner, still people are gonna come see Fundora Crawford because they consider Crawford to be small when him and Spence was facing off together. So if Fundora is next up, they just can't wait. They love doing those freaking face off with how tall Fundora is. Fundora's been knocked out by a fighter who was shorter than him. Let's be clear. But they want them comparison. They want to see Crawford. They're looking up at Fundora. They want to be able to say, Crawford ain't winning this. No, he ain't gonna be able to get past the jab. Crawford ain't gonna be able to do nothing with Fundora. He ain't it. They just don't want to hold themselves to a standard to say he's smart enough. His boxing IQ is high enough for him to get inside that jab. They just don't want to give him the credit. I get it. But Crawford's questing right now. His ATG quest. You know what I'm saying? To become 3-time undisputed. And then he becomes 3-time undisputed. Right? I'm jumping ahead right now. You know what I'm saying? We got the Olympics this year. Yes, I'm practicing on my 100. I'm practicing on my dry phase. And I'm practicing on my goddamn 60 to 100. But check this out. We got the Olympics this year. You're looking forward to track and field. And let's not run it up. Let's just run it up. Because if Crawford run through these belts, Canelo will not have any direction that he can turn to say that Crawford doesn't have anything for him. He doesn't do anything for him. He won't be able to say that. He definitely won't be able to say it, y'all. People will say it to his face. Hey, Canelo, you ducking. You don't want to fight that man, you ducking. This is the year of Crawford. Seriously, he picked up 3 belts this year, and we go into 2025 knowing that there's going to be a 3-time undisputed match for him waiting in 2025. And you got to understand one thing with Chris the Hater. He don't talk about how Crawford maintains his health and he maintains, being able to compete on time. On time, y'all. We seen Spence having cataract surgery. We seen Spence in a video, a suspect, exposing video, and we don't know if he was coherent. But the question was asked, do you want to go to Dubai? He said, what? That's just, oh my God. We never seen Crawford in that situation. But what we can say is that he's always ready. When it's time to walk to the ring, he's ready. He makes it through fight camp. He shows up to the presser. He let the haters know that Team Crawford get active if they want to get stupid. And we see the rest play out once the bell rings, shawty. You know what I'm saying? ATG status. That's what Crawford is going for right now. I'm glad I'm old enough to see it. And then we're gonna have Jahad Tucker next up. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have Jahad Tucker next up. 21 years old. We're gonna have Jahad Tucker next up, bro. But right now, man, this year is looking good. We got Deontay Wilder coming up June 1st next weekend. Man, this Mexico versus USA 5v5, that's looking good. You know what I'm saying? I really don't want to see Crawford versus Canelo in that 5v5. Peep this out. When you just take a deep breath and exhale, and you say to yourself, do you really want Crawford to have all this power in boxing? Do you really want to put him on a 5v5 and he beat Canelo? Do you really want him to shut down the entire Mexican fan base by beating Canelo? And you're probably asking yourself, well, come back. He already has 2 losses. I get it. But neither one of those names is Bud Crawford. Neither one of those names have had the momentum like a Bud Crawford right now. Neither one of those names have been hated. He goes in here and pick up an L with 147 pounders, so to speak. And it's Mexican versus USA. You will have Errol Spence fans coming over to support Bud. I just don't know if he should have all that power, because there's going to be so many people around that can't handle it. Like, him picking up all these straps, going in there and beating the brakes off Canelo. I mean, what are you going to do, man? It's going to be nobody else that he can fight. He would definitely have to retire after that, because there's nothing else he has to prove. There's nobody else he can fight. There's nothing else he can do except come in here and make guest appearances. You know what I'm saying? Sit on the front row like Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? So the camera can go, oh, there goes all-time great, 3-time undisputed champion Bud Crawford's in the building. There he is, coming off a thrilling victory over Canelo Alvarez and picking up all those belts in 2024. Oh, what an amazing, amazing fighter. Don't get mad at me, goddammit. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. Shout out to the one and only Christopher White with the $10 super chat, lighting up the tree of life for World Combat Sports. I appreciate you, brother. One love to you. Thanks for donating to the channel as always. It's much appreciated. Salute. I'll see you on deck, man. OG said, if Fundora beats Errol, the Errol section was going to be pulling for Fundora to beat Bud. I can see that happening. I can very well see that happening. Them plotting, scheming, colluding as they always do. I can see that happening. You know what I'm saying? I can absolutely see that happen. I don't even need binos to see that. I can just use my mental telepathy and just zoom in. So, yeah, them haters out there, they active. Yep. I can see them lighting up in my head. Yep, they still active. Oh, man, someone is actually climbing from behind that bush. That must be the hiding spot for the bunker. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if they will feel better about themselves if Fundora was the one who beat Spence. I don't know, man. I don't know if it's going to be the same. I don't know if they will feel equal, equal level of glory to root for Fundora to fight Crawford. I don't know if they would be satisfied to that. See, it's all about, them seeing Errol Spence go in there. It's all about them seeing Errol Spence, man. They want Spence to be able to redeem himself and return at a higher weight class without the excuses. They want him to be able to walk down to the ring and check out his eye. I mean, look at his eye, look at his eye. Okay, his eye look good. Okay. Nobody goddamn drugged him this time. Look good. Any video of him running up St. Charles Mountain? No video. Okay, cool. They gonna be hoping, talking about, this gonna be one of the debates. Let's just say Errol Spence somehow pull off a miracle, right? Either they rob Fundora or, Spence straight up beat Fundora, okay? They're gonna try to put it out there like, they're gonna try to come up with some argument. You know what I'm saying? Who had the tougher fight? Hey, OG, Miss Golden, you know where I'm going, right? And everybody else in the chat. They're going to try to come up with the argument, well, once again, Errol Spence had the tougher road. You know what I'm saying? Well, what do you mean exactly? He beat Fundora. Man, he went up there and beat Marjamov. He didn't even freaking have but the WBA. He only had 10 fights. He only had. They're gonna be talking like the record stuck, y'all. He only had what, a freaking professional license to fight. So you're blaming Crawford again for boxing. Boxing allowed that fighter to elevate and place himself in a position to become champion. And now you're mad and putting all the culpability on Crawford, right? I got it. I do. I understand that there will never be peace. There will never be peace when it comes to this until Crawford is retired. But 2024 is looking like, before he does call it quits, he's going to be leaving carnage within the ring at 154-pound division. That's all I'm saying. They're gonna say, hey, if Errol Spence beat Fundora, who beat Tim Tszyu, they're gonna say, hey, Errol Spence had the better opposition. And then it's gonna be an aerosexual that pick their head up and wipe the dirt off. Hey man, don't do it, man. We've been there already. Stop it. You must be new around here. Don't do it, bro. Leave it alone. We did all that heavy lifting shit, man. He went in there and goddamn lifted Spence off this earth, man. He beat him down. Leave it alone, dog. Don't piss him off. They're gonna be saying, don't piss him off. Don't piss him off again, y'all. Let him be. Don't piss him off. Y'all better leave Crawford alone. Let's see. Is anybody else gonna say some slave stuff? That's stepping in the ring. Let's see. Is anybody else? I know Marjamov said he ain't Errol Spence. I get it. You know what I'm saying? We'll let you have that. It's boxing. Marjamov said he ain't Errol Spence. All right. Clear. Let's get that clear, buddy. You know what I'm saying? And I can see if you want to say you ain't Errol Spence, you had that WBO title, but you only sitting on the WBA. See, Marjamov, you should be happy that, you get to fight a ATG with just one belt. And then the fact that Crawford activated his WBO for the 147-pound division, you get to fight for your first unification bout against an ATG there, Marjamov. You should be absolutely elated. You should be elated that you have that opportunity to look across the ring and say, there he is. Damn. There goes my ass whooping, staring me right in my motherfucking face. Damn. Y'all okay back there? You got the water? Where's the adrenaline for the cuts? Okay. You got the inswell? Let me see. Have y'all did inventory yet? Do you have everything? Ice water. Y'all have the ice. The ice pack. You got fresh ice. Okay. Marjamov is going to be doing a 13-point check to make sure they have all the necessary ingredients that goes along with the freaking cut man package. You know what I'm saying? The coach package, everything to help the swelling go down, take care of cut, if any, all that. I'm telling you, bro. You know what I'm saying? But we definitely got to take a moment to pay some bills. And remember, June 1st is on its way up here.
Bomb Squad! Bomb Squad! Bomb Squad!
I know y'all love that. I do. I'll be bomb squatting it all the way out to his retirement. But first he got to knock Zhang head off, and then, we got to go in here and you know what's next. You know what's next. We got to go up here and beat up Mr. Speed Racer. You know what I'm saying? We got to go beat up Mr. Speed Racer. They're always a spin of the narrative, no doubt. D-Ray live on the drive, salute. Bill's Boot Camp in the building, salute to you. But we got something to look forward to. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? They're trying not to give Bud credit as always for Marjamal, but he don't have anything to do with the 154-pound division. I mean, he's moving up to a division. What is he supposed to do? Move up there and supposed to be already furnished? He's supposed to just fight one fighter for all the titles? It wouldn't be fair. They'll be up here crying for that. I'm glad the titles are spread out. I'm glad. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy that Jermell Charlo came off the titles. I really am. I'm glad that Crawford's not fighting one fighter. Now, if it was Jermell, I would be okay with it. But I'm happy he's not fighting one fighter for all the titles. Because it allows Crawford to have to fight more than once in the super welterweight division. It allows him to have to go through not a gauntlet, but through a process. You know what I'm saying? He has to go through the division. He has to absolutely fight more than one time to clean out the division, not just fighting one person for all the belts. And if Marjamal only have 10 professional wins, then that has absolutely nothing to do with Crawford. If he has to go up there and fight 3 times, that's more than enough to say that he cleaned out the division and did what he's supposed to do, people. He did what he had to do. If Fundora's is the one next up after October, cool, that's what it is. If it's Spence, that's what it is. I told you, what do I think about the biggest fight? It's Errol Spence. The reason why I say that, because of the history, and there are Texas box fans want to see him. There's, just the spirit of boxing that wants to see the rematch at 154, because there's still some naysayers out there. There's still some boxing fans out there that's unsure. They don't want to give Bud no credit for that 147. They said, no, weight train. You know what I'm saying? That's what they were saying, right? I remember Bill Haney and all them was, T.O., all them talking about, it was weight drain. It was weight drain. You can't give him credit for that. It was weight drain. Okay. So that's why you have a lot of these boxing fans wanting to see Crawford Spence 2 at 154, and it will make it even more valuable when it comes to the consumer part of it, for Errol Spence to be champion. Now, the positive aspect about this is that, I'm going to be honest, I don't know how many fights Errol Spence has left over at PBC. It would be good if he was a free agent. But when you have a 360 elbow and 2 kneecaps type of contract, you ain't never making it out of there. You ain't walking up out of there. Every time you think you're stepping out the door, them shackles remind you, not yet, buddy. I got the key. Come over here and sit down. We ain't finished talking. I don't know how many fights Errol Spence has remaining. I don't know, man. But what I can say, right? I can assume that since Turk Al-Sheikh has PBC fighters on this August 3rd card, I do believe it's not going to be as difficult if these two clash, since people are saying, okay, PBC trying to block Bud from getting an undisputed. They're trying to block. Okay? And that may have been the case, but at the end of the day, I believe Turk Al-Sheikh, money talks. Everything else we don't give a damn about right now, but money talks. So, I like the what Turkey Al-Sheikh has been saying about providing his support for Crawford, which would definitely, I think, in my opinion, persuade Al Heyman to do business once again with making this fight with Errol Spence and Crawford. I may just be wasting my oxygen right now. I don't think Spence is going to beat Fundora, to be honest. I've been wrong before. But and don't just say I'm hating or nothing like that. I didn't say he was gonna get his ass beat. I just say I don't believe he's beating Fundora. When a fighter comes out here and he puts out this tweet, I don't like it, bro. I don't like the tweet he put out there. I delete it, but let me bring it up one last time. He put the tweet out there that might be last time you see me. And he up there has the emoji saluting. Now, it's another way that we can make this tweet come to fruition. You don't have to take the fight. You don't have to take the fight. I don't know how much he's getting paid for it. It's not a Turk al-Sheikh financier, support or investor for this fight. So I don't know how much Errol's been paid. I don't think he's getting that Canelo money. I don't think he's getting like 25 million to fight Sebastian Fundora. If anybody know how much he's getting, yeah, drop it in the chat. Don't drop no BS either. Don't sit up here and tell me he getting 2 food vouchers and a freaking IOU check stub for $350. You know what I'm saying? 350,000. I mean, if you know how much he's getting paid for this fight, please let me know. I don't really care about it, but I know they're not getting that Turkey al-Sheikh money. You know what I'm saying? So if Errol Spence do win, there's some talk that's going around saying that Al Haymon's still gonna try to block Crawford. What's the purpose? What point is it gonna make for you to continue to keep Crawford from fighting and he keeps on winning and winning? You're only gonna piss him off. If Errol Spence is planning on retiring, what is the purpose for Al Haymon to block Crawford from fighting for the belt if Spence don't plan on staying in boxing for the next 2 years? If he's planning on, and he already have it set that he has, 1 foot out and a big toe, then he should fight this fight, or he shouldn't fight the fight. He should just say, no, I got enough money to last me. I'm good. Honor Brown in the building. I see you. Just to let y'all know, right? Shout out to BIBI. She said real bitches wear the red high heels on the right. Shout out to you, man. Whatever. Hey, educate me on what that means. You know what I'm saying? Educate me on what that means. Wear the red high heels on the right. I don't know what that means. That might be an inner saying. I don't want to really laugh at something that's not laughable. You know what I'm saying? How am I bullying you? What do you mean I'm bullying you? What do you mean? I don't bully nobody. It's too much energy. I don't have time to be bullying nobody. Dan Tan in the building. I see you. What's good? The first time you came over here, I thought you was a troll until, Jessica said, what's up? And then I said, hey, what's good? What's good? You know what I'm saying? That's all they're going to do is piss him off again. And then Bud is going to take it out on Errol ass again if they ever fight. Yeah, I keep telling them, man, just let that dude, just let the powers that be allow this to materialize, allow the results to come to fruition so we can get this next fight. That's all we want to do, Shouty. Real talk. But I did want to mention Mike Tyson. Tyson somehow, some way, he had a ulcer flare up. He's about 2 months, I believe, out from facing Jake Paul. He had an ulcer flare up, wherever that is. I don't know what that is. I really don't know what an ulcer flare up. He probably has, his stomach wasn't feeling good. I don't know if he had any blood in his stool or something to that nature. I don't know. But they say he's in recovery. I just thought I'll put that out there. You know what I'm saying? I just thought I'd put that out there. Also, I want to mention this guy. I don't really want to give him too much press play unless, Canelo is fighting Bud Crawford. But y'all do know that the IBF ordered a purse bid for Canelo Alvarez and William Skull fight. And I'm going to be honest, I told them I can finance the fight. I sent them a letter. I say, for William Skull with a C, I can finance that. Canelo will get 500. We're talking about 500.00. No commas in this. And then Canelo and how he even elevated, they must have had a private elevator for him to take up the IBF, but he'll get a cool $56.25. Okay. They shouldn't have to go to purse bid. I could have financed this myself. But they're saying the IBF orders a purse bid for Canelo and William Skull, y'all. Y'all said it. William Skull with a C. They say, of all the fights that Saul Canelo Alvarez has to choose from, the IBF is digging in on forcing him to negotiate with its lightly regarded mandatory challenger, William Skull, going as far Monday as to order a June 6th purse bid, y'all, meeting at his New Jersey office. Oh my God, this is terrible, bro. Look, Canelo Alvarez is the one that's saying Crawford doesn't have anything to offer. But yet, he's going to say, I don't have anything to do with this. You know what this fight remind me of, y'all? Is when the first time I heard Carlos Ocampo, they pulled him from the depths, you know what I'm saying, of the nuclear reactor, a freaking area that had been shut down. It was too toxic. They went over there and found Carlos Ocampo, wandering around the area. They thought he was a mutated, they say, what's going on? I'm searching for the IBF. They say I'm next in the rankings. Oh, we can take you over there, Cole. We can take you over there. Don't worry. Don't worry. Hurry up. Why are you over here? So, nothing was going on with my career. Just nothing was going on with my career. And then after, Errol Spence beat him, he went on to Mexico and had like 12 freaking fights over there, man. But this reminds me of Carlos Ocampo appearing out of nowhere to fight Errol Spence in defense of his IBF title. Now we have William Skull. The IBF is something special. If they're not stripping somebody, they're bringing fighters that we never heard of. They coming in here with a William Skull, y'all. Y'all want to know William Skull record? He's from Cuba. That will forever keep boxing above water. Cuban fighters. He's coming over here 22-0. An astounding 22 victories, 0. I'm talking about 0 with the flash of lightning through it. And 9 knockouts, y'all. Now, I have to propose this question to the scholars in the chat. Do you think that William Skull will make it the distance since Canelo has been in the giving? He's been in the giving mode, y'all. He went the distance with John Ryder. Ooh, that dude from freaking Texas who said that he don't know what they talking about. He about to face Canelo. And you know what I'm saying? I already done what he did. Jamel Charlo, Mr. I want to punch a girl in the eyeball. And then Hami Munguia. You know what I'm saying? Went the distance with Hami Munguia. Is William Skull going to be allowed one knockdown and then see the final bell so he can go back to Cuba and say, I did it. I did it. I did it. I'm back at Cuba, Poppy. I went the distance with Canelo Saul. Let's celebrate, Poppy. Do you think they're gonna allow William Skull? I never heard of a Cuban named like William Skull. Like that's a bit confusing to me. But he's next for Canelo Alvarez, and they say in Monday letter, the IBF, Monday will be today, okay? IBF President Daryl Peoples wrote that undisputed super middleweight champion Saul Alvarez, 61, 2-2, 39 knockouts, and Cuban Skull, 22 victories, 0 defeats, 9 knockouts, was ordered on May 13th to begin negotiations for Alvarez IBF title defense. Don't nobody want to pay for that shit. Don't nobody want to pay for this. They say 9 days later, Skull representative Hagen Doring reported that an agreement could not be reached, according to People's letter, and he requested an immediate purse bid. The IBF has ordered the purse bid for noon Eastern Time on June 6th, informing promoters that bids are due by 11:45 a.m. the morning. I'm gonna tell you something like this, y'all. And shout out to the house chat in the game. We about to level change. I think I'm gonna show up there and try to put my bid in. I'm gonna try to get this fight, bro. Now, after I win this motherfucker, right? I don't know where the hell they fighting. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna figure all that out later. But I'm gonna try to put in the bid. I'm gonna tell them, I say, hey, the reason why my bid is so low, because he's fighting a dude with a C for skull. And then for Canelo know damn well he should not be fighting this dude when he's saying that Crawford don't have anything to offer. The article goes on to say Skull, 31. He's 31 years of age, y'all, who fought 8 consecutive bouts in Germany before posting an 8-round unanimous decision win over little-known Sean Hempfield on the pre-pay-per-view undercard to Alvarez May 4th unanimous decision triumph over Jaime Munguia at the T-Mobile Arena. They go on to say, in Las Vegas is an opponent who pales in comparison to those Alvarez has been linked with for his next fight, y'all. Say it ain't so. It said, I believe the IBF is next, people said in a text message. If he's mistaken, there has been additional speculation that a Berlanga fight makes more sense to take place in New York and Las Vegas in consideration of Berlanga's Brooklyn roots. Now, if they want to move Mr. Cannibal himself, Puerto Rican Cannibal Lecter, okay, Mr. Cannibal Lecter bite you in the clavicle and rip out your goddamn trapezius muscle when things not going, my way in the fight. If they bring Edgar Berlanga now, I would want to see Edgar Berlanga fight Canelo Alvarez. I would like to see how he performs under the bright lights in his biggest fight. Really. Berlanga is still undefeated. And from the last time I checked, when I saw him out there on fight week for Canelo Alvarez, Jaime Munguia, it seemed like he still had his teeth in his mouth. They wasn't shaved. It didn't look like he had canines or something. I truly believe that animal control was on site. You know what I'm saying? But, the reason why I make light of it, I was just so disappointed that Edgar Berlanga became frustrated and bit his opponent. I just thought it was so far out of character because he's supposed to be new upcoming, prospect star. He's supposed to be the one, and he let a guy like that frustrate him. On the night Mike Tyson bit Holyfield, he was frustrated too. He said Holyfield was headbutting him. But for Berlanga, he was just getting outworked. And this man bit down and tried to rip out his trapezius muscle, man, along with his jugular. Come on, bro. But I would like to see Edgar Berlanga fight Canelo Alvarez instead of William Skull. This William Skull fight is terrible. It's terrible, y'all. This is terrible. For them to even consider A purse bid for this fight is terrible. Y'all think I'm lying? I'm gonna try to win this bid. I'm gonna try to make me some money off this fight. I'm gonna try to go in there and win the bid, and then I'm gonna call up Bob Arum, and I'm gonna say, hey, I'm won the bid. I want to try to work out a promotional deal with you. I'm not even looking at Madison Square Garden, none of that shit right there. We're gonna have a fight in Times Square, Bob. We're gonna have a fight in Times Square, and we're gonna open it up to the public. We're gonna cut costs. We're gonna cut costs, Bob. We're gonna have the ring outside, and that's where it's at. We're gonna cut costs. We ain't gonna worry about anything else, Bob. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to win this fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely gonna fly over there, submit my my bid. Make sure I have taken my ashwagandha and ostarine so I feel strong, because I'm an older dude. You know what I'm saying? Make sure I'm good to go. I don't be falling asleep in that motherfucker. And yeah, I'm gonna try to win that bid, y'all. Seriously. I'm definitely. Yeah, Canelo's the master of tune-up fights. Canelo at this point in time, you can tell he's close to retirement, because most of his fights, man, they allow him to get away with bum-ass fights, but with a high-ass payday. You know, his checks is nothing bombish about his checks, though. Fighting in Germany is rigged. It's easy tune-up there. Okay. Anybody with a resume fights in Germany is easy tune-up. Just look at Anthony Yigit. Yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Just like Mexico. Berlanga eventually, they'll pressure him into Benavidez fight. Benavidez is up at 175 right now, right? And from my understanding, David Morrell moved up to 175. I didn't see where Berlanga had moved up to 175. Real. I haven't seen that. But from what I know, I will double check with you right now. So at 160, 68, Berlanga is still there. He is a tenant at the super middleweight division. Now, if you're looking for Morrell and all those guys, from my understanding, they have fights scheduled at 175 pounds. You know what I'm saying? David Morrell is still posted at the WBA as the regular champion. But from my understanding, based off what I heard, he absolutely is supposed to be at 175 pounds coming up. But once again, we'll see how that play out. Yeah, we need to get the ostarine. I'm gonna make sure I have the right amount of ostarine in my system, so you know what I'm saying, I can project my voice, you know, in case there's some bullshit going on with the freaking beds. They're gonna try to goddamn railroad me because I'm a new face up in there, but I'm gonna try to win that so we can have it in Times Square. You know, very minimal, just get the ring out there. You know, people could go to the local freaking bodegas and everything, be outside eating. I'm not gonna bring no chairs in there. Standing room only. Just go. You know, like the old school. Just show up. You stand around, watch the fight. So cut the costs on freaking cleanup crew, getting a chair. Oh no, I ain't doing none of that. Just goddamn have some freaking trash cans out there. That's it. That's it, bro. You know what I'm saying? We don't need for them to purchase any tickets, man. Just have them open to the public. The fight shouldn't last no longer than 6 minutes. And 6 minutes, Canelo, I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm gone. If you let William Skull fight you longer than 6 minutes, brother, no, it ain't happening. Berlanga might do a lot better than Hummy McGee against Canelo. I don't know, man. I don't know. I just didn't think Edgar Berlanga looked all that tough in his last fight. I didn't think he looked all that tough, man. You know, he got the stoppage and all that, But I don't know, man. A big part of me believes Jaime Munguia gives Edgar Berlanga trouble. But then again, you don't know with boxing. You know, Edgar Berlanga does have the Puerto Rican fan base behind him. He is a very popular fighter, face, and name. And he's definitely a bigger face and name than William. Oh, that Skulls with a C. Skulls with a C. So you're saying it's Skulls with a C? Why are you talking like a list with me? You know, back in the day, you know, I used to talk with a list before I really started getting my joke corrected. I got my joke corrected, and now, you know, I sound pretty good. But you know, I understand the skull with the C. Have y'all ever heard of somebody's name named Skull with a C? Who does that? I mean, where is this from? What island? What island? Has anybody been to this island? Anybody seen his birth certificate? I guarantee you his last name ain't Skull, man. From Cuba? No, his name ain't. They just thought that would blend in and be a neutral name at the end of the day. But it stands out even more going in there against Canelo. I don't like it. I don't like it, bro. I don't like it. Real talk. I don't like it. I'm not going to hold y'all. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to the hottest chat in the MF game. Once again, we're going to start firing up these hot grease. And like I put in here earlier, understand one thing. You know, understand one thing. We're getting closer and closer. And we're sitting at 68. You know what I'm saying? I know I have 69 up here. But we're sitting at 68 days to Marjamal saying goodbye to them belts. And Terrence Bud Crawford becoming super welterweight unified champion. And not only that, y'all, we have 64 days, probably 63 now, to the T-Mobile Massacre 1-year anniversary. I must keep on reminding these previous former Spence fans that have since went missing is that, yeah, the massacre is on its way back. The 1-year anniversary, we will celebrate. We will have beverages, and we also will be consuming premium fish. We will have another fish fry in remembrance and reflection of July 29, 2023. Don't be mad at me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just passing the word. Until next time, man, y'all hold it down. I'm out. Peace.
Bomb Squad!